Well, greetings, and here we are. First time playing the Quatre Bras scenario. First time playing, I'm going to play as delivered, as the scenario requires. Now, this scenario starts on turn 4, about 2 in the afternoon. There are only 4 chits, so this should move along pretty quickly. Okay, now first drawn is the French First Corps. The French First Corps is over here, and they're behind the French Second Corps. They don't move. Next drawn is the British First Corps. Their First Corps units are behind the Reserve Corps. They don't move. Next one is the First Corps. Let's get them moving. They can make it up to the reverse slope behind Quatre Bras. And last of all, we have Riley's Second Corps. For the French, let's get them on. Alright, the cavalry element can reach the edge of the field of fire of Perponker's unit here. That's where they go. And then the rest of Riley's Corps make it to the hilltop. Oh, and I also see here, we also have the rest of First Corps, the British First Corps, moving on a road towards Quatre Bras. So here we have everyone is racing towards a critical junction at Quatre Bras. Turn 5. We begin with British First Corps' chit. Perponker gets reinforced with artillery. Here we've advanced First Corps up. Now the question in my mind is, does Wellington sense there's anything more than some cavalry right here? He can't see any of this. He had promised Blucher he'd send what he could. Let's see how this turns out. Riley's Second Corps is drawn next. Now Riley's cavalry scouts have noted just over the hill is a British force in the chateau. Now Ney has spent time in Spain. He knows the British fight on reverse slopes. They also report this column moving along the road. And his whole point of being here, from Napoleon's point of view, is that he's supposed to stop them from getting there. So he sends the cavalry around. Now the streams here are uncrossable. So the cavalry's going to have to come back this way and go around. One facing change for free. They move a third to there, crossing a slope, costing another third. So they have 1/3 left. They turn to face, and that's their last third. So that's what the cavalry does. Riley's Corps is in column. They can't come within 1/3 of an enemy in column. So it's not a full third, but they spend part of a third. You count it as a third, moving within 1/3. They come out of column, that's 2/3. And they have a third left, but they also have terrain to cross, crossing a slope, which subtracts a third. They can't do that, so that's where they stay. And the rest of the line is moving up and coming out of column as they may. Okay, that's as far forward as they can get. Now you notice I have 3 blocks here, all in a row, and the third block doesn't actually do anything, but I wanted it could get out of column. So I moved it out of column, and they'll move around next turn. Next, the Reserve Corps is drawn, and they head on up the road. And there they are, approaching Quatre Bras. And finally, the last drawn is Durland's Corps. Now Durland's Corps was following Riley's Corps, and remember last turn they got held up, so this turn the front of their unit is actually, the front of their formation is actually right here. They'll get on the map next turn. Still no actual combat, we're at turn 6. Now remember, I'm wondering how this would go over in Ligny, because Napoleon was going to wait until he heard Ney's forces start up in Quatre Bras. He wanted to make sure that Ney was attacking before he got started. Now it's turn 6 and Kellerman will arrive. First drawn is Riley's Corps. They're going to attack. Now at this point, the artillery can't see anything because the woods are in the way. I need them over here. So I turn, move to there, and one more facing change for their final third. The cavalry comes around and contacts the front of First Corps' column. Now in the Waterloo campaign scenario, in this scenario, the woods are thick woods. Cavalry and artillery can't enter, and if infantry enters, it becomes spent. Now these streams are bounded by swamp, which means they can't be crossed in this scenario. And the streams are here and here, so the reserve infantry is going to be waiting right over here. These are the bags. They've moved to there. They're coming out of column, but they're not unpacking. Now Picton's troops are drawn. They're right here, and they can't move here because First Corps troops are still in the way. So they'll move up like this and come out of column, but that's as far as they'll get. And now Durland's Corps moves. They'll move up and run into Riley's Bags still on the road. Now in any Quatre Bras ligne battle, what do you do with Durland? Historically, Napoleon had ordered Ney to send Durland's Corps to him if he could. The message got as far as Durland's column, and the officer with the message gave it to the column and said, "Come on over here." Ney, faced with a larger British foe, when he realized what had happened, had Durland's Corps turn around. Therefore, by the time this all got sorted out, Durland made it to neither battle. In this scenario, Durland merely arrives and supports Quatre Bras. If when you're playing it you want to say, no, Durland would have went to Ligny, you can do that. If you want to say, he got caught between like he always did, I want to keep the battle historical, he just doesn't participate on the 16th, this day, you can do that. This time I'm playing the scenario as it's set up, and Durland is merely coming on as best he can. Now you'll note this game, here we are turn 6, and Durland has just got on the map. So as soon as he could get over to the Ligny map, it's turn 7. And he really couldn't come out of column and affect anything till turn 8. And then it's night turn. So the way it worked out with the chit draw on this one, even if you tried to get him over there, he wouldn't be there in time to affect anything. All you would do is take him from Ney. But let's return to Quatre Bras. And Durland will be part of Quatre Bras today. And now we have the British First Corps, which is all these units in column. Now the lead element is contacted in column, but it hadn't been drawn yet. Now that it's been drawn, they come out of column and they turn to face. Now this is all supposed to be, chit draw simulates simultaneous movement, and you're never quite sure who got ahead of who and when who moved first. I choose to believe what happened here was the Dutch-Belgian cavalry saw the French coming up, came out of column, into line. Okay, so after I'm done moving these, the infantry has come out of column, and they're arrayed here. Now this is uncrossable. It's only crossable here at the bridge, or by going way around this way. So this infantry is here. This is the reserve corps. They've already moved. These are the bags. These are Cook's elite household guard, held in reserve. And last, Kellerman's cavalry corps comes on. Kellerman's heavy cavalry has no other option but to follow the roads west of Quatre Bras, and it looks like they're going to be enveloping the British from behind. And we have combat at Quatre Bras. Remember, the artillery got there earlier, so Quatre Bras has artillery and they're going to fire first. This could be very bloody. Alright, now what you see here is everyone's retreated away. Does that mean they all ran up, took off, and ran the other way? No. What it means is the area is still contested. If both sides are willing to fight for it, it's whoever can reinforce it first. That'll be chit draw next turn. Here we are, turn 7. Now you may be wondering about these British troops. These troops here, and these two blocks here, come in on turn 8. This group of troops come in tomorrow. Now the chit draw becomes very intense. Who's going to get into Quatre Bras first? First Corps is drawn first. That's Durland's troops back here. They're going to try and delay because they want this to get resolved. They do. Now the way delay works is first I draw another chit. It's perfect. It's Second Corps. Now I've added First Corps chit back to the cup. Of course, Wellington doesn't want them to get there ahead of time, so we're going to try to get Uxbridge's men up there first. First Uxbridge tries. He does it. There's Uxbridge's chit. Well, this is desperate. Ryder's going to try. He does it. He jumps ahead of First Corps. And they flip all these HQs over that have rolled. Now Wellington is here. Wellington can try. See how Wellington does. A 4. That makes Wellington's roll. So they jump ahead. Everybody jumping ahead this time. His troops hang on a reverse slope. Cook's household guard turns to defend against the cavalry. I think we're going to see some British squares right there. And the bags are pulled in tight behind him. Now Riley's Second Corps gets to go. His artillery fires on the British in Quatre Bras. The artillery is pulled to safety. It wasn't set up yet, it wasn't ready to fire, they started getting heavy fire. The loggers were full of gunpowder. Yeah, they got out of there. And now the French troops attack. He unpacks bags and rallies his troops to Fresh. Picton reinforces Quatre Bras with the Brunswickers, while his own troops move to protect the bags. Durland's troops are drawn, and they inch up a little farther. They're not coming out of column yet, they're waiting for a breakthrough. His lancers get out of column and start riding around to the French right. Maybe at this point they've received orders to head toward Ligny, which they could turn off right here and head that way. But they won't get there today. They'll reach it in the night. And once again, the cavalry is drawn last. Kellerman's cavalry comes out of column and charges. That was dramatic. Both British blocks are eliminated. The French had captured the position. Will their lucky dice hold out for the drive on the British right? In heavy fighting, the Guard Lancers are driven back, but there's nothing left of Cook's men. The British have now lost 3 blocks in this round of combat. It was pretty devastating. Extremely hot dice for the French. And now it's turn 8, the last turn of the day. Durland's corps is drawn first. Their cavalry covers their flank, and the corps is going to head up to the road. So they're going to camp here for the night. Or as Steve Waltz likes to say in his stealth camping channel, they're going to hunker down. Second corps is drawn next, and they're going to race forward. Now the British position fell apart so quickly, they didn't even have time to unpack bags. Next drawn is the French cavalry. But guess what? First corps is going to try and jump ahead. And they do. Kellerman's not too happy about that. He tries to jump ahead, and he fails. First corps is going to bug out. Picton tries to jump ahead of the cav, and he does. And finally, Kellerman gets to go. First, the cuirassiers use the charge rule and charge. The Dutch Belgians explode into nothingness. And now the Guard Lancers charge, and they destroy the artillery. That ends turn 8, and now we begin the night turn. You know what, I forgot to do something. Turn 8, and we can simply say they were drawn last. Uxbridge arrives. Now he's arriving in column, but he'll run into the retreating columns from the battle. And in the night turn, they'll be whipping a 180 and heading out of there. And so that's a very different Quatre Bras, as Marshal Ney, bravest of the brave, has won many laurels on this day. In my next video, we'll see how things go over in Ligny.